Hey yo, Halo 5 has been out for quite some time and I'm here to tell you if you should buy it after all this time or not. Firstly, if you are a fan of Halo, this will be probably a no-brainer for you. At the very least, you gotta know how that story is gonna play out, right? Except that the marketing you've seen for Halo 5 this whole time is a complete lie. Without spoiling the game, there is no Chief versus Spartan Locke, which is amazingly stupid. All of the trailers hype it up. Different trailers with Locke beating up Chief and Chief beating up Locke. That never happens. Not in the way that it's shown in the trailers at all. So wow, what a dupe, right? Having said that, I am somewhat thankful that is not how the game would end, actually. Now, for newcomers who might not have ever touched an Xbox or played Halo, how easy is it to get into via this game first? Or maybe someone who just wants to jump in with the newest entry? Well, Halo 5 is not the place to start. I strongly suggest playing the Master Chief Collection first for any newcomers. However, it is still a Halo game, a space-themed first-person shooter heavy on the story with hidden story as well. So, where to start? Well, this game features 3 main game modes, single-player, multiplayer, and Warzone, and no split screen. Seriously, Jen and I couldn't play together on multiplayer, even though there is a campaign co-op. Why? Anyways, I'm going to be focusing on campaign, but we'll touch on Warzone and multiplayer later. The campaign is extremely short, unfortunately only taking about 5 hours for me and 4 hours for several others from start to finish. The campaign changes things by allowing 4 players to be with you at once instead of being alone, which makes this exceedingly easier. Unfortunately, the players are AI, and it isn't amazing on your side, at least. Jumping into the game, there is a lot of missing things that people would not have read or watched. The side content that involves Halo, like why is Dr. Halsey missing her arm all of a sudden? And why was she kidnapped for so long? Well, herp derp, can I get some story with my badass non-interactive fucking cutscenes in the beginning of the game? The story itself is fairly simple, and in fact, that Chief is grieving still from Cortana's loss from the ending of Halo 4. Apparently, Chief is working with his old team again, and he has been contacted by Cortana somehow. This isn't well explained, and even his team asks him if he's feeling okay and starts second guessing him. I guess that magic is getting to him. Progressing through the story, there is some really awesome sequence breaking events, going from FPS mode to detective mode to try and figure out what's going on. There are times where the player has to wait, and this breaks up the monotony. And I am quite thankful for these breaks because this game really gets monotonous, especially when fighting the same boss, Warden Eternal, a boss that is recycled 6 times and then again 3 times against you at once. And the only other boss fight that might have happened, well, it's a cutscene. The marketing was bullshit completely for this game. The only time Chief fights Locke and his team is 1 time, and it's a cutscene, and all it involves is a bit of fist fighting, and that's it. What a joke. At the very least, the gameplay has improved, and it feels good, and the subtle changes are very nice. Not only is it, once again, visually inspiring, but Halo 5 can hold 60 frames per second for most of the game. There is dynamic scaling, so when things start to pop off and get real, complex, the graphics and the FPS will slow down just a bit, but it's not bad. The moments where the FPS will drop, it's not easy to tell. This game is gorgeous, and even though you play most of the missions as Spartan Locke, 12 out of the 15, it's still a wonderful world to look at and enjoy. There is the addition of a similar feature like Metroid Prime, where you can scan something and find data on it. Sadly, it's very limited, but when it occurs, it's pretty nice, giving backstory on something you might not have known, like Covenant Ruins. Spartan abilities have been added, like slamming the ground and looking down your sights of weapons. It changes the game, be it good or bad. You can ignore these changes if you really want to. Your team can pick you up when you die, but unfortunately, your teammate's AI can be stupid, as I mentioned before. Sometimes I've been left to die when my teammate was right next to me. The controls transfer well, allowing players coming off off the heels of Halo 4 to use the same exact setup, among others like Southpaw as well. So if you played Halo games before, it's pretty much the same in that department. Tight, responsive, with little lag. If you want to enjoy the game's sounds and music, I would suggest a headset, as I feel that this is much better than the Halo 4's audio was. The voices sound like they really wanted to be there and don't sound phoned in like a certain ghost from another game. Even some of the AIs is really unique when talking, glitching up and giving a clue to its health condition.
I want everyone to know we had some unexpected help from the EVC. They're here in Meridian Station with my permission, and they saved the lives of many. Let's not keep the governor waiting.
A very nice touch, 343. But with all that said, the campaign is not as immersive as I would like. Your team constantly escapes bullshit situations that would otherwise kill them and makes it feel as if there is no danger. What with the main boss being killed so many times, he becomes more of a chore than anything else. If you have one of the multiple turrets that can be dropped by enemy soldiers, then you can easily take that boss down like he is a joke. Speaking of enemy soldiers, there are new enemy soldiers. You won't be fighting the Covenant as much, but with the addition of these new foot soldiers, they will fill the gap needed between Knights and the Dogs. Knights have been reworked too, having weak points instead of damage to kill. That is not a bad system, it's just annoying when you are destroying them with focus fire and it does nothing to them because you're not hitting the weak point. And the worst thing of all is constantly being reminded of what buttons to use. I kid you not, one mission halfway through the game told me how to jump. Are you serious, 343? At the end of the campaign, you will understand what is happening and how Cortana is back, but ultimately the game ends on a massive cliffhanger and probably isn't going to end anytime soon. The multiplayer works well. There is a lack of classic maps, unfortunately, and there are 15 different maps with classic modes like Capture the Flag to make up for that. I really don't have much negative to say about multiplayer other than it feels like nothing new to me. Personally, after playing Halo 3, 4, Reach, along with 2 way back when, it just not the same fun game I wanted. That's my own personal opinion. And if you love Halo only for the multiplayer portion, I suggest you try out the multiplayer first to see if it's something you'd like to play after every single night. Now, Warzone was supposedly the biggest draw. This could be described as firefight mixed with multiplayer. Whoever gets the most points wins. Kill each other or kill the AI in a race to the point cap, your choice. So this is where microtransactions come into the place, and damn do they suck. Oh, but you don't have to buy anything. But then, if you want requisitions, then you have to earn them, or you have to buy them, right? Okay, these come in the form of weapons and vehicles in Warzone. Instead of how Halo Reach's firefight would spawn random weapons at the end of rounds and firefight and drop crates, there are these single-use cards that can be used to spawn these items depending on if your team has enough levels in Warzone. So I'll give you a simple rundown. It works like this. In Warzone, both teams are told to either go take a point or take out an enemy, and then once you do so, you earn points, and or take the lead with control. This will bump up the team's said level and allow for players to request those cards, like a tank or a ghost or a rocket launcher. This gives players the power to spawn these items at any given time. And I wouldn't say it throws off the balance of the game per se, but getting into a match when everyone has nothing but a tank and then being immediately blown up after spawning or using one of these cards, well, it can leave you pissed off for such a fast waste of a requisite. Also, I have to hit on the trailer.
Wait, won't rec packs with special weapons break the exquisitely refined balance of arena multiplayer?
Secure your noise hole, soldier. Grown-ups are talking.
Damn it.
Talking about these requisites and how dismissive 343 was about legitimate questions on balance. It's bullshit. Point is, if you loved Firefight, you might like Warzone, but don't expect to enjoy it if you have a group of kids with mommy's credit card on tap that you're playing against. Because of these microtransactions, supposedly DLC will be free in the future. I would call this more of a double-edged sword, but for me personally, Warzone was not Firefight. And again, like multiplayer, I did not enjoy this as much as I thought I would. Halo 5, a $60 game with microtransactions. Thankfully, I only paid personally $40 for mine because I got it on sale. And though not invasive, you give them an inch and they will take a mile. It cost 3.4 million points to get all the armor unlocked, and that is cosmetic cosmetically only at 679 cosmetics. To unlock everything, it would cost 340 gold packs at $2.99 a pack, which would cost around $1,100. And as I stated before, you can unlock everything without spending money, but you get more points for doing well, and if you're fairly good at the game, you get around 1,000 points per match, give or take, for 10 minutes. And you could be looking at around 1 hour for one gold pack. Multiplied by how many gold packs again? It would take you around 680 hours depending to unlock all the cosmetic armor packs. By the way, that doesn't include weapons. If anyone says they put this system in for players, I disagree. This is a slot machine mechanic. You buy a gold pack, you roll the dice, and you enjoy that dopamine you get. Hey, maybe you'll get something this time that you want. You have nothing to show for being a completionist in this game, unfortunately. If you see a person with some wicked cool armor, oh, he didn't earn that. He just got lucky, or he bought it. So sad to see this creeping into one of my favorite game series ever. It's so depressing. Forge mode was not released when I played the game, so that's my review of Forge mode. Sorry, wasn't there. Theater mode works, and is there too, even though it crashed several times. It works though. It's almost laughable that this is my review of all the game modes, but really that is all you get with the new Halo 5. And I'm not saying it's a bad game, but even with how I feel about Halo 4, Halo 5 is average at best. Where the previous games were amazing and fun, and I spent many hours playing Halo Reach and Halo 4, I no longer want to spend my time on a game like this with my friends. I wish I could play local multiplayer with my friends and Jen, but that's impossible. So as it stands, I give Halo 5 a B-. A solid game that might get better with time, but it's not better now. Probably the weakest entry in the main series, without taking into account the side games and other entries like books. It had a solid, interesting story, albeit dull characters like Spartan Locke. Great and a fun game to play, and many maps to play on. It's dragged down by a no desire to unlock anything, and no desire to put the time in to rank up to unlock these things. You don't care. No desire to play locally with friends because it's impossible. Thanks for watching my review, and I hope you comment down below with what I missed. I have been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the end of the great journey. And now, the important decision of joining the Maverick Rebellion. We are a tight group of individuals who rebel against stereotypes and greater evils that are commonly accepted. ISPs, children being conned out of games, sexism in video games. Enough is enough, and the Mavericks have had it. If you choose to subscribe, or stay subscribed, you are joining the fight against injustice by watching my numerous video topics. From net neutrality to publishers covering up botched releases, the Mavericks are always informed on the issues plaguing your gaming experience today. So don't be left out in the cold, and don't let those people keep you down. Join the Maverick Rebellion today and become a member of the community that will listen and engage with you. What are you waiting for? Just click subscribe and you'll be in good company. Mavericks unite!